Oh, we just had a great visit from my nephew Gene Bezos and his wife Caroline and his kids. They all played the piano, and it was a great day for me and, of course, my mother. And it's amazing how much magic this piano has done, how much pleasure it's given everybody. What's that song? My Baby Grand. Anyhow, I was listening to Dr. Ronald Hoffman of WOR radio yesterday, which would have been the 30th on the way into New York. He was talking about a lot of interesting things. Any of you folks who have any interest in health and longevity and quality of life, apparently we spend half of our life healthy and the other half we're sick and dying. And half of our life at this point where we're all on kind of medications and pharmaceuticals and the like. And Dr. Ronald Hoffman brought up something which is, to me, very, very interesting. And what he did is he gave a challenge to President Obama to have his family check for vitamin D to see if they have sufficient amounts of vitamin D. Vitamin D is the sleeper vitamin in the sense that it's never been considered a real trendy type of vitamin in the past. And vitamin E and vitamin C and B complex and that type of thing, vitamin A. But vitamin D has been something that it's a sunshine vitamin, and no one thought too much of it. But as they've done studies, they find out that in the northern latitudes during the wintertime, people get deficient in vitamin D, and they get depressed, they kill themselves. Nothing serious, right? But it goes on. It's more than that. It basically, the vitamin D actually is used in hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of body functions. If you don't have it, you basically are in bad shape. And people who are sick typically have low amounts of it because maybe the vitamin D is used to fight off the infections that has made them sick. That's not too clear. But what has recently come to the surface is that the black population has significantly lower normal, let's say normal rates of or dosages of vitamin D. And it's also known, of course, unfortunately, that blacks have a shorter lifespan. You could say maybe that's from drugs, gang activities, AIDS, whatever, but it's more than that. It is basically they come down with hypertension and diabetes at a lot higher rate than whites do. And I don't know if it can be totally said that it's maybe because of their diet, because there's a lot of blacks in the South that eat very healthy, a lot of collards and things like that. And they think, according to Dr. Hoffman, that perhaps it's the fact that they have low amounts of vitamin D. And so blacks are at a disadvantage in terms of absorption of vitamin D, and therefore they need to take more of a supplement of vitamin D than apparently whites do. And it seems to me that this is a simple way to improve our general health. And in fact, if they gave everybody vitamin D 2 to 4,000 international units a day, you probably wouldn't need Obamacare, but then the pharmaceutical companies would hate us. They would hate us because we are just things that they put chemicals into to get money. Dr. Ronald Hoffman, he's on Saturday. It was in the afternoon, and it was 7:10 a.m. WOR radio out of New York. But he has a website, Ronald Hoffman. If you look him up, he's quite a long-time player in the health industry. And so he made a challenge. He said, now that we're done with the birther movement, perhaps we can move on to find out what the president, his wife, and his two daughters are in terms of their levels of vitamin D in their blood. And his bet is that probably they are far from nominal or optimal as far as vitamin D, and maybe instead of Michelle Obama going on some tangents that may or not make a difference to everybody, definitely if she went on a vitamin D awareness campaign, It would definitely help the black population. It would probably help the white population. Right now, the levels that the government says are necessary, they used to be around 200, then he went up to about 400. Now they're between 600 and 800 international units, but you should be taking a minimum of 2 to 4,000 international units of vitamin D a day. And someone fat like me, apparently the vitamin D is absorbed into the fat, so you actually have to take appreciably more maybe until you saturate the fat. But vitamin D can help you lose weight, a whole bunch of stuff, lower your blood pressure. There's numerous things that take place with vitamin D. If you're not taking a supplement of vitamin D at this point, you should be. And if you're black, you should even take more. Read into it, look into it, research it, but it's very interesting that there's no talk about the difference between whites and blacks in terms of their vitamin D levels, and yet they all tell us in the news that blacks don't live as long as whites, and that they have a higher hypertension, higher rates of diabetes and the like. And the vitamin D is cheap enough, so why don't we make it available to whoever needs it in this country? And save billions and billions and billions of dollars a year, but then the pharmaceutical companies wouldn't like that. No one would like it. They might even have to lower the insurance rates. Can you imagine that? So that's the deal on vitamin D. Check it out, and do yourself a favor and start taking it, and make sure your friends take it too. It's cheap.